That is kidney. It is the same. That is urinary bladder. And I think you know that urinary bladder is intropelvis and border between large pelvis and true pelvis. That is linea, remember, linea terminalis. Linea terminalis posteriorly, that is promontorium, then linea arcuata, pectinosis pubis and pubic symphysis. Do you remember in pelvis? And that is ureter. Ureter starts from pelvis renalis. It is pelvis renalis, and this is ureter. And ureter goes downward. Pelvis, intropelvis, and it passes through urinary bladder and opens into ureter has 4 constrictions. First constriction in the beginning, where pelvis renalis continues into ureter. Second constriction in place where ureter attached to the bone, to linea terminalis. Next constriction in the distance of true pelvis. It is third constriction. It is on the distance of true pelvis. And last constriction in urinary bladder. And ureter has 3 parts: abdominal part, pelvic part, and pars intramuralis. Intramuralis, it is in the wall of urinary bladder. And it has 3 flexura. It is flexura renalis, that is in the beginning, flexura marginalis, in place where ureter attached to linea terminalis, and flexura vesicalis on the body between pars pelvina and pars intramuralis. Wall of the ureter consists of 3 layers: external coat, that is adventitia, middle is muscular coat, and inner coat, that is mucus. Muscular coat of ureter has 2 layers: external circular layer and inner layer, that is longitudinal. It is very important to know topography of the ureter in female pelvis. It passes, first of all, in front of large vessels, in front of common iliac artery and vein, then it continues near of free body of the ovary. Next, it goes at the base of broad ligament, and in oblique direction it passes through the wall of urinary bladder. In male pelvis, ureter passes near of seminal vesicle and near of deferent duct, in space between rectum and urinary bladder. Now, urinary bladder. Urinary bladder has apex superiorly, then body and fundus. Fundus of urinary bladder continues into the neck, cervix, and neck of the bladder has internal opening of urethra, ostium, urethra, internum. And this triangle at the base of urinary bladder, it has apex of triangle, that is ostium, urethra, internum, and base of triangle, and at the base of triangle we can see 2 openings of right and left ureter, and fold of mucous membrane which is joined together ostium ureterus, that is plica interureterica, between ureters, plica interureterica, and behind of this fold we have fossa, that is fossa retroureterica. it is better to see this fossa in male bladder, because male bladder fused with prostate gland, and prostate attached to the fundus of bladder, and that is why fossa retroureterica in male is deeper than in female. From apex of urinary bladder start ligament, and this ligament goes to the direction of umbilical ring. That is ligamentum, help me, umbilicalis mediana. And this ligament that is in place where in fetus we have urachus, that is urinary duct. This duct joined urinary bladder with umbilical cord, that is urachus, and after 30 week of fetus, urachus closed and changed into the ligament, ligamentum umbilicalis mediana. If you remember, we already draw peritoneum, and you know that here it is urinary bladder, that is urinary bladder. Here it is uterus in female, that is uterus, that is vagina, and rectum. Here it is canalis analis. And peritoneum from rectum goes to uterus, and from uterus continues to the urinary bladder, and from urinary bladder goes to anterior abdominal wall. And in front of urinary bladder we have pubic symphysis, that is pubic symphysis. And we know that peritoneum not supplies anterior wall of urinary bladder. That is why if urinary bladder is full, it contains urine, it moves above of pubic symphysis, and it moves peritoneum upward. That is why if it is necessary to remove urine and impossible to do it from urethra, in this case we can make punction of urinary bladder above of pubic symphysis, because here it is peritoneum is absent, and we can make punction of bladder if necessary to remove urine from the bladder. And some words about urethra. Only you will prepare female urethra. Female urethra, that is short tube, that is near of 4.5 centimeters. It has internal opening, ostium urethra internum in urinary bladder, and external opening, ostium urethra externum in vestibulum vagina, that is space between labia pudenzi minora, between clitor and opening of vagina. Female urethra has internal sphincter in the region of ostium urethra internum. In the region of urinary bladder we have musculus sphincter urethra internum. It is smooth muscles, and this sphincter is involuntary. And in place where urethra pass through muscles of perineum, striated muscles of perineum makes another sphincter, musculus sphincter urethra externum. This sphincter is voluntary because it forms with the help of striated muscles. That is all what we can see in preparatory. It is apex of urinary bladder, and that is beginning of ligament, ligamentum umbilicale medianum. That is base of urinary bladder, and base continues into the neck. Oh, it is male bladder, male, because here it is prostate, that is seminal vesicle and deferent duct, that is internal male genital organs. And now it is not so interesting. If we speak about the bladder, that is fundus, apex, body, and fundus. Here it is right and left ureter, anterior wall and posterior wall. We said that posterior wall supplies with peritoneum, anterior wall have not got peritoneum. And inside, you can see mucous membrane. It has folds in bladder, except triangle. Look here, that is trigonum. This is trigonum vesica, and triangle have not got folds. Here it is ostium of the left ureter, ostium ureterus, and here it is the same ostium of ureter on the right side. Between them, this fold, that is plica interureterica, and behind of this fold, here it is, that is fossa retroureterica. This is ostium ureter internum, and this is triangle where folds are absent. Muscular coat of urinary bladder has 3 layers, and these 3 layers together makes one muscle, that is expelling urine muscle, musculus detrusor vesica. Musculus detrusor vesica. This muscle, in time of contraction, it's help to discharge urine outside, that is expelling urine muscle. That is all. Ureter, urinary bladder, and female urethra next time. Male urethra we will prepare together with male genital organs. Your questions?